Clearly, the GHK Lall and the other enablers might be worried.
Hey there, happy Sunday. Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Final Takeaways podcast. There's a new plot twist in the Mohameds gold smuggling scandal that had people talking for months. It looks like the day of reckoning is upon any and everyone who might have helped, enabled, collaborated, conspired, or colluded with the father and son Mohameds, meaning Nazar and Azruddin Mohamed. Both men are currently at the center of a massive gold smuggling, tax evasion, and money laundering case, which is to be tried in a Florida, United States court. The case file, the United States versus Nazar Mohamed and Azruddin Mohamed, details everything investigators found out, and which may be used as evidence at the Mohameds' trial once it gets to that point. The U.S. obtained jurisdiction to bring the case after discovering a massive shipment of gold bars entering Florida. That shipment, we're told, was worth over $500 million US. The first legal move by the United States was to sanction the wealthy businessmen. Sanctions were announced in June 2024. FYI, if you're new to this scandal, we have multiple videos uploaded on our channel page that break down everything from the sanctions to the current criminal charges that are now being brought by the US against the Mohameds in relation to the gold smuggling allegations. So yes, you can head over to the channel page after you finish watching this video and you can binge watch to your satisfaction. Now, prior to the shocking indictment filed on October 2, 2025, the U.S. had sanctioned the two Guyanese billionaires who are also the owner of Mohamed's enterprise, which is also at the center of this scandal. They were sanctioned following an investigation into alleged public corruption that uncovered the Mohameds allegedly avoided paying taxes to the Guyana government after failing to declare 10,000 kilograms of gold. This resulted in a $50 million US loss in taxes and royalties to the Guyana government. Speaking of the government, one of its officials was also sanctioned by the US for her alleged role in facilitating the Mohameds. All of this alleged skullduggery was going on before Azruddin Mohamed was elected to be Guyana's opposition leader. Now, the Guyana government is seeking to root out those so-called officials alleged to have knowledge of what was going on behind the scenes when the Mohameds were exporting gold out of Guyana. This past Thursday, at his press conference, Guyana's Vice President President Jagdeo said the relevant authorities are instructed to immediately launch an investigation to uncover, quote, all of those corrupt officials and the gold board who collaborated with the Mohameds in smuggling gold.
The GRA, the police, must immediately start the investigation of all of those corrupt officials who collaborated, and the gold board, who collaborated with the Mohameds in smuggling the gold.
Not even allegedly, okay. Now they're taking this seriously. For transparency, Jagdeo said the investigation should date back to the Granger government, which came to power in 2015.
In every period, in the APNU period as well as the period under the PPP, they must immediately start the investigation.
So this investigation should date back 10 years. The reason being the investigation by U.S. law enforcement, which included the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, and the Drug Enforcement Agency, the DEA, found that the Mohameds' alleged gold smuggling racket was going on between 2017 and 2024. But it was what Jagdeo said next that shocked a lot of people. The vice president said former gold board chairman GHK Lall should be investigated as well.
Because he was the chairman of the gold board when a lot of the gold was smuggled out.
GHK Lall functioned as chairman between 2017 and 2020. Again, the Mohameds' U.S. sanctions and indictment state this as the period during which the alleged gold smuggling was happening. But notice there was no mention of Mae Thomas. As for Mae Thomas, who was also sanctioned with the Mohameds, will she be included in all of those quote-unquote corrupt officials Jagdeo wants investigated. A comprehensive and transparent investigation by local law enforcement and the Guyana Revenue Authority would and should also include Mae Thomas. Her name is not being called in passing. The United States, in a long and thorough investigation, found substantial enough information to include Mae Thomas as a corrupt government official who used her office to engage in corrupt activities alongside the Mohameds, allegedly. Strangely enough, Thomas has also not been indicted alongside Azruddin Mohamed and his father. Where is Mae Thomas anyway? Her whereabouts are sketchy, and the government won't say if she's still connected to their establishment or is on the payroll. The last solid information we received on Thomas was that she'd resigned. Officials won't say whether she voluntarily resigned or was forced to do so. A section of the public believes she might be paying the ultimate price for certain officials who may be involved. Let's now turn the focus on GHK Lall. The man has since defended his reputation after social media commentator, Guyanese critic, implicated him in the scandal.
I've never been to a gold ceiling. I've never been to a dealer premises. I have never been, then or after, in those 3 years and after, to any gold dealer, gold customer, place of business, residence, or any such thing. Never met them on the road.
We'd have to have some people from the Guyana Gold Board come and explain who played a role. Did you give any instructions at the time? Were you totally oblivious?
When you want to export 1 ounce of gold, 1 ounce of gold, or 100,000 ounces, you've got to complete a declaration. You've got to complete documents. It comes to the Guyana Gold Board, and arrangements are made, reviewed, and arrangements are made for, follow this now, folks, for people from the Guyana Revenue Authority Customs Department, 1, CANU, 2, and Police Narcotics, 3, plus a Guyana Gold Board representative, might be 2. So you've got 4 sets of agencies and 4 sets of people involved in the examining, the weighing, the sealing, and the signing off. So there are these sets of eyes there.
Now we got evidence to show that he was the head of the Guyana Gold Board, while Azruddin Mohamed smuggling gold from Venezuela, smuggled it in out. Documents, I have documents to show that Guyana Gold Board played an active role. So GHK Lall is saying that he was there, but he didn't know.
The burning question is why only now? An investigative report on the Mohameds' gold export business published by Reuters News and another thorough investigation by the United States exposed the Mohameds more than a year ago. What prevented Guyana law enforcement from conducting their own investigation? It took an indictment that laid several charges against the Mohameds for the Guyana government to take notice on this matter. Now they're taking this seriously. Was there something to hide? Was there something to hide? Were there people to protect or time needed to cover their tracks? What changed in October 2025 that is driving the urgent need for a local investigation? The indictment. That's what changed in 2025, in October of 2025. People are trying to cover their asses now that this is going to trial in the United States. So yes, those are the questions the public wants answered to. Hopefully, the Vice President or the Attorney General Anil Nandlal could provide answers at their press briefings this week. For now, stay tuned for what's coming up next.